Hey guys, Darcy here, and today we're going to talk about the new delay feature within the utility drawer in Luna. This one's a good one for our producers out there, so let's jump into it. Alright, so we're in Luna here, and we can see that we got a little bit of a drum pattern set up, alright? So basically, very basic kick, very basic hi-hat, and snare and clap here, okay? And I'm going to use this to demonstrate how to utilize this feature. But before we do that, let's just take a listen real quick. Right, straightforward, real simple, okay? So now let's see what this utility drawer feature does, okay? So we're gonna go up here to where we see utility, and we see delay on the bottom for each one of our tracks. So when we click and drag on one of these, what we'll see is it's moving it in milliseconds of time, right? So I just dragged it up to 100 milliseconds, and that would be quite significant. So let's actually just take a listen to it as is, and the clap is at 100, so let's see how off that's gonna sound. Right? Very delayed. Now, what would be some uses for this? All right. Number one, you've recorded something through some form of, say, analog gear or something that was, recorded through a microphone. And for whatever reason, technological reasons, latency, whatever, something is slightly off from where it should be. So you could compensate by increasing something and trying to get things more aligned. This is only going to go into plus values, so depending on your situation, you may have to move multiple things up to match the thing that's late as you're trying to fix an issue. That's one scenario. Now, the scenario that's more applicable to myself and to a lot of digital producers is adding a little bit of swing. Now, this isn't swing in the perspective of like you have a MIDI alignment and you're adding swing between the notes. That's obviously different, but this can be a really simple way to audition or even commit to something just being slightly adjusted, okay? So let's go back and we're going to adjust the hi-hat in this track just a touch, okay? So let's bring this up. Let's say, let's go with 16 milliseconds, all right? All right, so that's adding a little bit. Now I'm going to play with it going up and down so you can really get a sense of what it's doing. I kind of like it at 32. It's quite a lot, but I kind of like it to some degree. This can go up to 1,000 milliseconds or basically one whole second. And if you want to do finer tune movements, you can also hold shift while you're moving. Now let's do this again with the clap and move it slightly off. We're going to type this one in and we're going to do, let's say 4 milliseconds to see how this sounds. Right, so that 4 milliseconds, it's just a little bit, but it's just enough to give it a little bit more flavor. And now I'm going to even go let's say 2 milliseconds on the kick itself and see how that sounds. And we'll take it off and put it back on. So basically, you're getting the idea here. It can move it just a little bit and make it feel a little more natural. Now, obviously, it's moving everything to an equal amount, so you have to use that where it makes sense. But it can also just be a really fast way for you to get the idea of maybe if I shift this a little bit, what would it sound like? Hopefully you found this helpful. Hopefully you'll be jumping in using the delay as often as I am. And if you have any questions or ideas, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to jump on them for you. Anyways, have yourself a good one.